What is going on, everybody? Welcome to my new Tesla Model Y that has no radar in the front. So we are using Tesla's new Autopilot software update, Tesla Vision, which no longer uses a front radar like Tesla's been doing the entire time Autopilot has been in existence. And this is something Tesla has planned for many years, Elon Musk has talked about in the past, and it's finally here. There's no radar in this car, which most other auto manufacturers use radar even just for their basic traffic-aware cruise control. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing a bunch of different tests with this no radar version of Autopilot. Now, if you're curious about the beta, I don't have it currently. I think that I will have to wait until beta version 9 is out, and then hopefully that gets pushed to my car within 2 weeks or so. But we'll see about that. So for now, this is the public build that people are using. I should look at the software update here. I am on software update 2021.3.103. So usually these delivery cars come with a weird kind of unique software version, and then they get updated to the latest public build not that much later. So for now, this has been working really well. I already have about 300 miles on the car, almost 300 miles, and I haven't had a problem. So we're in the rain today. We're coming up to a red light. We'll see if the car begins to slow down. It has not yet. It is displaying the cars in front of us, and now it's braking pretty nicely. Could brake a little more, but this is very good, very gentle braking. So I've had a good experience so far with the braking in this car. Now it sees all of the green lights there. Let me make sure that camera's looking good for you. So it's displaying all the green lights. We're now proceeding. I've had a really good experience. So on my drive home, it was nice weather, no rain or anything. And the biggest thing I noticed was coming around a bend. It was a very slight bend, but it was a bend nonetheless. And the traffic up ahead was dramatically slow. They were maybe going 10 miles an hour or so. Tesla Vision system picked it up really nicely and slowed like perfectly. Whereas with the radar version, sometimes coming around a bend, it wouldn't pick up those really slow or stopped cars soon enough, and you'd get this kind of, the alarm going off, and you probably had to take over and stuff like that. So the car is not going to do its own lane changes and stuff out off of the highway, so I'm going to have to tell it to do a lane change. So it's just telling me to put some force on the wheel. But I'm going to hit that turn signal again. There we go. Instantly, it does the lane change. So lane changes also have been very good. You can see in the rain right now. It's very good. I should have the cameras up now that I don't have the beta. You can see my back camera has some water on it already, which is, I was hoping maybe because this car was taller or something, it would be better. So I need to change into this lane. And then again, the car is not going to make its own right or left turns. So let me get on the highway and then we will test it. Hopefully the rain will pick up a little bit. It's supposed to be a lot of rain going on. And we will test it and see if it can navigate on autopilot, make lane changes, do all of that with just Tesla Vision. Okay, so we can turn it on right now. So let's just get that on and hopefully it will do all its merging and everything onto the highway. So max speed for Tesla Vision is 75 miles per hour for now. Pretty unfortunate for me because on this highway I'm usually doing 80 and people are pretty aggressive, but I guess today in the rain, not too big of a deal. Oh, that was my bad. I forgot I have my confirmations on. That's unfortunate. I meant to turn my confirmations off. So it's basically going to have to tell me when it wants to change lanes, and then I will hit the turn signal. So I did it, but the person saw my turn signal and sped up. They didn't want me to get in. So we'll see if this next person lets me in. Yep, they do. Pretty tight gap. And wow, that rear camera actually looks pretty clear compared to my old one. I don't know if it's just, me thinking it is. I'm going to move back over because the car is not going to go any faster than this. And the person behind me is going faster. So let them pass. Wow, look at that. And the raindrops have cleared off of there. That's pretty nice. So, so far pretty good. Holding the lane, it made 2 lane changes without any problems at all. So that's really good. We did get the navigate on autopilot unavailable message, so it's not gonna do its own thing, unfortunately. And to be honest, the rain isn't even all that heavy. I think it's hard to remember, but I think nav on autopilot probably would have worked in this rain in my Model 3, but that's hard to say. Maybe, maybe not. It seemed different on different days. And then the other thing, you're noticing is I'm at 75. That's the max this system can go as of right now. Auto steer speed restricted to 75, and people are pulling away from me. So that's why, on this road, I'll pretty much always go 80 because that's just the speed that traffic flows, and it's a good speed to go. So that's going to be annoying until that it gets updated. But in the beta, the full self-driving beta, the initial top speed was 60 or 65 miles per hour. for a few months, and then at one point they updated it to 90, just like, you know, normal autopilot with radar. Max speed is 90. So we'll get there eventually. I just need 5 more miles per hour, please. And then I'd be good. I don't usually go much more than that, so that'd be fine for me. I know other people will be like, what the heck, I need to go 100. Well, that's not going to happen probably ever, or for a long time. So let's let it drive for a bit. We'll see how it does. And but so far it's pretty good. Okay, so you can see here, since the rain has slowed down, our Navigate on Autopilot has returned. The single blue line in the middle means the car will now make its own lane changes, although I have confirmations on, so I have to allow it. I have to okay those lane changes. And then the other thing that's pretty interesting about the system is in my Model 3, in radar cars, when Autopilot is on, you can actually turn the wipers off. Here with Tesla Vision, you cannot. It says windshield wipers cannot be disabled when Autopilot is active. So I can change the speed of them, but I cannot turn them off. So it's actually nice that you can change the speed, mostly because I found a little trick in the past where if Nav on Autopilot is turning itself off, if you lower the wiper speed, then it'll turn itself back on. And like, of course, in these conditions, it's appropriate. So I'll probably just, well, let's leave it on auto, just so the car can do its thing, and we can kind of see how it does. But that's a little tip for you. So a car wants to change lanes. Of course, I have to confirm, so I'm just going to tap that, and then boom, it does the lane change again. Like, I don't think I've had a bad lane change yet in, you know, 300-ish miles. So really enjoying that. Okay, so it looks like the wipers are picking up. It wants to change out of the passing lane. That's great. If I tap that, boom, instantly we're changing out of the passing lane. So again, that's been really good. It kind of got itself out of the passing lane and then turned Nav on Autopilot off. So at this point, of course, the car is still driving itself. It's still keeping the lane and keeping the speed, but it's not going to change lanes. It's not going to take exits, I believe. Yeah, it shouldn't take exits in this form. It's not going to do interchanges or any of that. So if the rain lets up, hopefully that'll come back. But I'd rather see like super heavy rain and see if the system can continue what it's doing. But so far, really solid, just holding the line, doing the normal things Autopilot does. Okay, Nav on AP has returned. The car then wants to change into the faster lane as soon as that ability returned. And so it's nice, the auto wipers seem very good. You know, I never had much of a problem in my Model 3, but I had heard a lot of complaints that people didn't like it or it didn't perform well, and that these last few updates were much better. And I mean, so far my experience has been really, really good with the auto wipers today. And I did have a tiny bit of rain on my way home yesterday, just for a minute. They turned on, and then they turned off right when the rain stopped. So they've been very good. So then the car should say, exit passing lane. There it is. So it says confirm change out of passing lane, and there we go. Okay, and then as we approach the slower vehicle, much ahead of time, the car wants to change lanes. I'm just going to hit the turn signal, even though there's a couple people in my way. That's fine because the car sees them. It's not gonna change lanes into them. It does a very good job of that. And then right when it's clear, boom, it moves over. So, I mean, so far I gotta say, Tesla Vision is very impressive. I don't know if I'd call it better than what I had before, but what I had before on the highway was working beautifully well. So there's not much to be better other than, you know, maybe phantom braking people are looking for. And I personally just didn't experience a whole lot of that on really any driving I did. So as long as I continue to not have phantom braking, should be all good. All right, so the rain's picking up. It looks like these vehicles up here are slowing, a bit more slow than us, and boom, the car detects it in a great amount of time, really gently applies the brakes. Like, I can barely even tell we're slowing down. The braking is so gentle. It's very good. You know, I do almost want to say the braking for slower cars or stopped cars is better. I haven't used it enough to definitively say that, but it does seem that way so far. Now, part of that maybe that the minimum follow distance, see, like, what is this weirdness? I've seen this before. The minimum follow distance you can have is 3. And in my Model 3, I would always keep it at 1 or 2. On a rainy day, to be fair, I usually keep it on 2 or 3, but I'd always keep it on 1. And that was because, like, these gaps on the highway people don't like, and they'll cut you off and stuff. So maybe that's part of it, but yeah, the slowing for stopped cars has been very, very good. All right, now we're coming up to a section of this trip that I have had problems with on my Model 3 ever since they released the traffic lights and stop signs update, where the car would slow or stop for red lights. The cameras confuse these green arrows up here for traffic signals sometimes. I mean, it'll go days without ever even displaying it. If you see, there's a traffic signal right there. And other times, it'll get confused and think it's a traffic light it needs to stop at or something and hit the brakes. Not too hard, but, I mean, it's too hard for the highway. But it's not like an emergency stop or something. So I would expect Tesla Vision is still going to have that problem. I don't see, I mean, that was obviously a camera issue. I don't see why that would change, but we'll see. So the car is telling me it wants to get out of the passing lane. The problem is this isn't the passing lane, that's the passing lane, and the car just gets confused because of the solid yellow line. So this is a time where I'm glad I don't I have the confirmations on, so I can just kind of ignore it. I'm just gonna hang out here. Okay, so we just, I mean, it was so fast, I didn't even see what the message said or anything, but we had a little break there for a second. I didn't even have time to put my foot on the accelerator, so I'm guessing it saw that as a red light. You'll be able to see, I'll take a little screenshot of what it said, but little random break there. All right, so the rain's picking up now, thankfully. We got a pretty decent bend in the road here. See how the car does with this. Going into it a little fast, but it should be able to handle it no problem. There we go, applying the brakes just a little bit, and like nothing. I mean, even with this heavier rain, again, it's not anything too crazy, but it's relying on cameras up here that are being cleaned by the wipers, and it's handling this no issue at all. So there we go, we got some braking. I think it thought this semi was merging, but it's not, and then it continues, so no big deal there, just a little bit of braking. And now the semi's coming over, which is fine. And boom, handled that curve, no issue at all. We'll have to, we have to find some more challenging stuff, I think, because, yeah, this is doing so well. I don't know. I haven't seen too many, Dax, if you've seen Dax M, his YouTube channel, he has a Model Y also with no radar. And I watched a few of his videos, and it looked fine to me, but then I was hearing just rumblings from other places that people were, you know, not happy with it, or like people are posting on Reddit that it was terrible and all this stuff. Now, maybe when the first few cars that came out before a software update, it was, but I don't know. My experience so far has not been that in the slightest. It has been just as good as what I had before. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up here soon. But one other thing I want to say that I'm noticing, which I think is a huge, gigantic improvement over my Model 3, and I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but if you can tell, if you can see these two repeater cameras, they look dry. They look like they were just cleaned and wiped off. And in my Model 3, even in rain just like this, or a little less rain than this, they would have water droplets hanging on them, and you could kind of see them shaking in the wind as the car was driving. I haven't seen a single water drop on these the entire drive, which is huge because, you know, if you can keep these from having water collect on them, you can see in all the rain. I don't know if the repeater's shape is different. Maybe it's got more of an overhang. I have no clue. Again, it could be a coincidence, but that is a huge improvement. I don't know of any hardware changes from my Model 3 to this Model Y, but yeah, that's going to help a lot in all rain, because now these repeaters are going to work. And then, of course, it's not going to take my exit because Nav on AP is not working. So I'm going to just do that, and let me let's see. Well, we can do this. I'm getting tailgated by, you can see this person behind me. It doesn't look as bad in the rear view, but they want to go super fast in the rain on all these loops. So let me get, I want to see a traffic light or two, and then we'll call it. So going around this bend was pretty good. Again, won't make any right or left turns, unfortunately, but I hear the wipers make a noise up there. I don't like that. That's the other thing I noticed is, like, when things calm down, the wipers will chill right there, kind of at the bottom, and then when it doesn't rain for a while, then they'll get tucked away. I don't know if my 3 did that, but look at this. It's gonna, look at, oh, yeah, you can do it. Yep, it's confused. I'm gonna hit the accelerator, and yeah, I can't do that. Okay. But it's seeing the red lights, it's stopping for them, it's doing a good job. Let's go through this green and see if it can successfully do that, if it's gonna freak out at all. It says stopping. Oh, I have to confirm. Is that still, oh, that's still part of the public software. It's been a while. So it saw the green, I confirmed, and it went right through. So the rain's decently heavy, you can see the wipers are going. I don't know, guys, Tesla Vision is pretty sweet. I'm really liking it. I think it's really good. So great job, Tesla. Great job, Autopilot team. I hope you enjoyed this one. That was a lot of fun. Tesla Vision is doing fine for me. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you in the next, you will see me in the next video.
So Autopilot and I are happily driving along